My name is Rosita. I'm one of the teachers here on Take Lessons. So, today's topic is going to be about the TOEFL exam, specifically for the writing section. So, let's start on what is an essay. Well, an essay is a short composition on a single subject that usually presents a personal point of view. Now, in the fourth and the last section of the exam, you are going to write an essay about a topic that will be assigned to you. You will have 30 minutes to write a 3 to 5 paragraph essay on that topic. Now, here's the thing. If you write an essay or write a topic that's other than the one assigned, you will receive a score of 0. The max points for this section, it is going to be 30. Now, your essay score will depend on your ability to compose a well-written essay that answers the question in a relatively short time, 30 minutes. Not a whole lot of time, but doable. Your essay must be well organized and well developed. You must provide the reader with clearly appropriate details to support your thesis or illustrate your ideas and opinions. Your wording should show throughout the essay that you're comfortable expressing complex ideas in the English language. You should also use a variety of grammatical structures, such as clauses, tenses, etc. Now, I'm going to give you guys 10 important tips that's going to help. Now, let's start with 1. Well, as with other sections of the exam, you would like to be familiar with the directions and the examples so you can begin work immediately. Remember, guys, this is timed. Now, come up with a game plan. That would be number 2. Make sure your essay has an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. 3. This is one of the main things that you should do. Start brainstorming for about 3 to 5 minutes. Write down words, phrases that are related to your topic. 4. Write simple sentences based on what you brainstormed, based on those words, so you can put your idea into a complete form. 5. Here's the next crucial thing. You would want to order your ideas in a logical pattern to support your thesis. 6. Use specific detailed examples from your thoughts to develop your ideas. If you guys are writing an essay based on, if you're reading the topic, use what they're talking about, the facts that you got from the topic. Also, that brings me to number 7. Choose effective words and include transitional words and phrases to unify your work. I do have another video about the writing section of the TOEFL exam that has examples of transition words from opinions and when to use them. So definitely please check that video out. 8. Set aside about 2 to 4 minutes for revising, editing, and proofreading, which means you want to read your essay again. Catch those mistakes before you submit it. Make sure everything that you included says what you mean. 9. Make sure you have written about the given prompt only that you have answered and the question completely. And 10. Concentration. Your practice and hard work will help you. So, let's get into some writing basics here. Let's talk about the game plan. Like I mentioned before, an essay should have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. In the introduction, you want to get the reader's attention and tell the reader what you're going to talk about or what you're going to write about. You will also give the reader any special information that guides the reader to the body of the essay. In the case of the exam's essay, The introduction should be one paragraph that contains about 4 to 5 sentences. The body of the essay should be made up of 1 to 3 paragraphs that contains the ideas you want to communicate to the reader. It is going to be slightly more detailed than the introduction. Then the conclusion, which should be made out of 1 paragraph at the end that summarizes what you wrote in the body and reveals the conclusion you want the reader to make. Now, that brings me to number 2. Do not write the essay without planning, guys. Begin the process by brainstorming. Now, in all writing classes, whether it be English or whatever language you speak, we have this exercise called brainstorming, which helps you start the flow of ideas necessary for an essay. Now, this process involves writing words, phrases that are related to the topic as they come into your head. For an example, so let's say we're talking about, okay, let's do a topic. Okay, what are some of the qualities of a good parent? Use specific details and examples to explain your answer. A topic like this, you will probably find in the TOEFL exam. So, depending on your beliefs, you might want to write down the following words while brainstorming. Loves children, they want to set an example, earn a good living, strength of a character. And once you're done, putting those words or phrases, we're going to put them into simple sentences that will help you put it into somewhat completed form. So for an example, one of the things I mentioned was earning a living. So what you could do is a parent should earn money to provide food, clothing, and shelter for his or her family. Once you've brainstormed and started putting everything into sentences, you want to arrange them, put them into a logical order so that they can relate to one another in a logical sequence. Then decide which sentences should go into the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. You will probably find that you need more sentences, which it's going to happen sometimes. And if so, write them at this time and place them in the appropriate paragraphs in about the appropriate section of the essay. But do not spend too much time on it writing the sentence in the margins next to the sentences. This should take about 3 to 5 minutes. Now, every paragraph should have this thing called a topic sentence. A topic sentence contains the controlling idea of a paragraph and tells the reader what the paragraph is about. Look at your sentences and decide which one should begin the introductory paragraph, which one should begin the paragraphs in the body, and which one should be the conclusion. You may have written some topic sentences without even realizing it. If not, write those because those are important. It will affect your score. Okay, so now you have roughly about 10 minutes to put the essay into final shape. You have all the ideas, you have the sentences and paragraphs in the correct order, but you need to check your sentences for grammar and spelling errors. This is what we call proofreading. Okay? So once you're able to proofread, that's going to take about 2 to 4 minutes. All right, so now you have the process of how to write the essay. But of course, there are rules that you should follow when looking at your assigned topic. So, if you learn to recognize the kind of topic that you have been assigned, you'll be able to organize your writing more efficiently. Okay, so for an example, most essay topics on the exam is going to ask you to make a choice. or your opinion. For an example, here's a topic. Some people prefer to eat a food stand let's do that again. Some people prefer to eat at food stands or restaurants. Other people prefer to prepare and eat food at home. Which do you prefer? Use specific reasons and examples to support your idea. Now, you probably enjoy eating in restaurants and at home. I know I do. Of course, it depends on our moods, or your work schedule, or your diet. However, do not write an essay that says that sometimes you like eating in a restaurant and sometimes at home. You must choose one or the other if you want to write an essay that answers the questions correctly. Other topics ask you whether you agree or disagree with a statement. Others will ask you to tell which is better or whether you support one thing or another. These topics require you to choose only one thing and write about it. Do not write about both. So for an example, one topic that can easily deceive you is, nowadays food has become easier to prepare. Has this change improved the way people live? Use specific reasons and examples to support your answer. This topic asks you to make a choice, but it may not be obvious. It is not about food. It's about the way food preparation affects the way people live. You have to choose between two possible opinions. Opinion one is the change in food preparation has improved the way people lived, or the change has not improved the way people lived. Make sure your essay is true to what you believe in, or the choice that you made. Now, single topics, there's some types of questions that ask you to choose the topic yourself. These topics are often referred to desert island questions, for example, as a book called it. If you had to live on a desert island and could have only one book to read, what would it be? Explain your answer using specific reasons and details. The topic question gives you the circumstances of your choice, but it leaves the choice of the details of your answer up to you. A more likely topic, for an example, is if you could study a subject that you could never have the opportunity to study, what would you choose? Explain your choice using specific reason and details. So here's the quote-unquote desert island question in a slightly different form. You have to write about one academic subject, not necessarily one that you always wanted to study, but also one that might have developed you in a particular way, or one that your parents would have been pleased about. Whatever subject you write about, you must provide details about your desires or those of your parents, or you could write about the way the course would have helped your work. Other forms of topics could be cause and effect. Some topics require you to identify causes, effects, and causes and effects together. So here's an example of a question that was recently on the exam. How do movies or television influence people's behavior? Use reasons and specific examples to support your answer. In this example, the statement gives you the cause. Movies or television. It is your job to write about the effects of this media on people's behavior. Because we know both movies and television, affects us. So, in the following example, the statement gives you the effect. Why do you think some people are attracted to dangerous sports or other dangerous activities. Use specific reasons and examples to support your answer. The effect is some people are attracted to dangerous sports or other dangerous activities. You must write about the causes of this attraction. The effect, in the following example, you're required to write about both cause and effect. People do many things to stay healthy. What do you do for good health? Use specific reasons and examples to support your answer. You must write about what you do for good health, which is the cause. You must also write about the effect of what you do. Then we have the topic about many things. Topics often require you to support several facts. For an example, films can tell us a lot about the country where they are made. What have you learned about a country from watching its movies? Use specific examples and details to support your response. To write this essay, you have to choose a film from a country other than your own. A film that is about the country that produced it. You have to say what you learned about that country from watching its movies. If the movies had been, say, The Godfather, parts 1, 2, and 3. What would you have learned about America? About Italian immigrants in America, about Italian-American actors, about the causes of organized crime in America, about family life, religion, divorce, about political and economic power. Let's look at that. All right, now let's look at the next example. People listen to music for different reasons and at different times. Why is music important to many people? Use specific reasons and examples to support your choices. This topic has been the subject of magazine articles, long books, encyclopedias, etc. You must write not about the kinds of music found throughout the world, but the reasons that people listen to it. Whether it be for relaxation, religious purposes, or artistic engagement, or just for pure entertainment. So, when classifying the topics, there's about 185 or so topics from which your assigned topic will be chosen. So you should become familiar with that list and take extra time to practice writing essays before you actually take the exam. Okay. Now, let's talk about the integrated writing task of the exam, especially if you're taking the IBT. On the TOEFL IBT, you will read a passage and then hear a lecture that is related to the topic of the passage. You will be asked to summarize the listening passage and explain how it relates to the points in the reading passage. The suggested length of your written response is between 150 and 225 words. You must remember to make sure that your response clearly relates to the question assigned. This is not a writing exercise that asks for your opinion. Also remember that you are being asked to explain the points you've heard. So it's a little bit different from what we were talking about before. This is integrated writing. So, summing it up, your writing should show that you're comfortable expressing complex ideas in the English language. Structure your essay and acquaint yourself with the possible topics you may encounter on the test. Alright guys, that is part 1 of my writing series. I do have another video out. Please check it out. Again, my name is Rosita. Alright, guys, so hopefully this video has been helpful. It is a rundown for you. I will definitely check out my videos on YouTube for those. And if you guys have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask me. You can check out my profile at takelessons.com, and you can click a button that's called Ask a Question, and the questions do go directly to me. Alright guys, hopefully I'll get a chance to talk to you soon. Have a great one.